We're now appealing to a broader audience, a global audience,
Right.
that we hope and that to this point has heeded the word of justice and of reason. And we're not asking for money, which is the number one thing that the Coca Cola company thinks we're after. It is not monetary, it is not financial, it is not economic. It is political. It is an issue of human rights, of the rights of our communities, of labor with dignity. That we're not asking for a Coca Cola to give us anything that does not belong to us. We're asking for a dignified job with the proper rights of ourselves and our families to lead dignified lives. And through that, the basic principles of truth, justice, and reparations. Truth, that what has taken place be known far and broad. Justice, that those that have been responsible for the violence be held accountable. And 3, reparations, that the wrongs and damages caused to us as individuals, as heads of families, and as a union be reconstituted. Which does not mean necessarily a check,
Right.
as Coca-Cola has tended to do throughout its encounters with us and through recent
So
negotiations.
Coca-Cola has offered you all a check to somehow smooth this over.
And we understand that money is not going to solve anything. We understand that it requires the political will of the corporation and those with whom it conducts business, such as Stony Brook University, to want to have the moral integrity to do what is right.
Right.
And to 2, to place that over any economic interests that may be beholden to a particular university or contract or other organization.
So do you have any specific examples of experiences that union members in Colombia have had where people have either been harassed or murdered?
Certainly one of the most violent cases that has now been rather well documented is the case of a compañero in the small town of Carepa, Antioquia, in the northwest part of Colombia, where in 1996, in the middle of negotiations between the Coca Cola company, the bottler, in this case, Colombia, the Coca Cola company, and SINALTRAINAL, our union, that morning of December 5th, 1996, paramilitaries came looking for the chief negotiator, who was Isidro Gil. Isidro Gil happened to be at the gate that morning. The paramilitaries found him, shot him in the forehead, and allowed for the rest of the workers to come out and see what the commotion was. It turns out that with the direct threat that if they didn't resign during that time, that they would face the same fate as Isidro. They later ended up burning the union hall and forced every worker to sign uniform resignation letters. They were printed off of Coca-Cola printers on Coca-Cola letterhead. They were handed to the workers by paramilitaries.
And those were the letters that were asking people or demanding that people resign?
Yes, they were letters that were a consequence of, in this case, our workers thought we could lose our lives or we could lose our jobs. Clearly, the latter was preferred. They all decided to resign to avoid further violence. These letters, as I said, were uniformly signed and submitted, showing a direct connection between the paramilitaries and the Coca-Cola company in that region. Now, 3 weeks later, we should note, new workers were hired at 1/3 of the salary, showing that the violence and displacement of workers was merely out of an economic interest of having workers at a lower salary, at a lower pay scale, with no benefits.
So in reference to that specific case, have there been any sort of other investigations that have happened? Has Coca-Cola began any investigations in Colombia?
Sure, this opens up a comical stage in Coke's responses to our supposed allegations, which we know are based in fact. At first, in the initial stages of the campaign that led to a boycott, Coca-Cola said, "Don't worry, trust us. We have an investigation conducted by friendly attorneys of ours named White and Case." White and Case had done an assessment that, quote unquote, vindicated the Coca Cola company and cleared its name of any wrongdoing.